Hello, hello, and welcome to the Project Freedom Team Hangout. We are so happy to have you with us on a very special show, a hangout that will teach you how to do the very simple things for your success and happiness. This topic was actually inspired by the team call presented by Keala Kane, who is the founder of Team Project Freedom in Empower Network, and we're going to talk a bit about what we're going to talk a bit about. I'm just going to. There we go. Um, oops. Let's mute that. There we go. Okay, a lot of technical issues today, but let's get moving on anyway. So, today we're going to talk about very easy, simple tips that we can use for our success and happiness. And as I was saying, it is inspired by the call that we had with the team founder, Keala Kane, who he had a call. He has a Saturday call for us. He's our mentor. He's been doing so well. He went from being a cafe barista, making, I believe, $1,400 a month, to now going up to past 40,000 in the month of March, I believe, from what he was saying. I'm not even keeping tab. I know that he is doing very well because I know from the way he speaks that his mindset has completely changed, and that's precisely what I want to learn from him. I want to learn more about how I can change my mindset in order to find more success than I have found already. Now, within Empower Network, we have this support group. We are doing things that others don't necessarily do. It's not in the norm to do the things that we do here for success and happiness, even though this is part of an online business. Empower Network offers the online business opportunity. However, really, it's not all about that. It's not all about the money. It's really about growth, about learning new things, about trying new things, testing it out, experimenting, experiencing, and having the support of an amazing circle of friends that will allow you to do this, that will allow you to learn and to grow. This is what Empower Network is all about, and this is what Team Project Freedom is really all about. And this is what this hangout is going to give you more of today within the hour that we have together. So, as I was saying, we did have a call with Keala yesterday, and he mentioned something that was really very, it attracted my attention to a great extent. These are things that we know about, that we have learned in the past, that we've read about, but we don't necessarily take these things seriously. We don't really give them the attention that they require in our lives. And Keala was just reminding us of the things that are very, very important to do in terms of success and happiness. And so before I continue, I see him in the shadows. David is there. I'm going to get him on. I'm going to, he's David. Hi, David. David is one of our team members. We have Elizabeth, who's trying to get on, having some technical difficulties, and we will have some more team members most likely jumping on to help spruce up the discussion, because everyone here is learning. Everyone here was on the call yesterday, and everyone is implementing the tips that we are talking about here at Empower Network with Project Freedom, with Team Project Freedom, and on this Hangout. So, some of the tips, I'll just give you very loosely some of the tips that Keala spoke about. And I'll tell you more about the stories that he related this to. However, just to give you an idea, these are the things he mentioned, and I totally believe in this. These are the easy tips that are also very easy to forget, easy to drop. They're so easy, they're so simple that we tend to not pay attention to them. So one of the things was to read. Every single day, read. Another thing was doing affirmations. I'll tell you a story a little later on about affirmations, how simple it is to do affirmations, what kind of affirmations you can do. However, we tend to put that aside and we tend not to do them, or we do them for a few days and we forget them. Some of the other things that we can add, have a mentor, use your support system, go to live events so that you can interact with the individuals and that energy. And we have within Empower Network the 8 core commitments that bring in some of these tips. But these, we want to give you not necessarily tips for online business marketing. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about tips that will be useful to you for all kinds of, any area of your life, for business, for relationships, whatever. These are tips for success and happiness. Now, I want to bring to you David Souza. Hi, David. Can you hear me?
Yes, Carmen. Hi, I hear you. Sorry, I was muted.
Oh, no problem at all.
Yeah, I'm at work right now, so I gotta talk kind of quietly.
We hear you loud and clear.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
We hear you great. So, David, what do you think about these simple tips for success? A lot of people think that you need luck, that you need, all kinds of complicated things for success. What do you think about these very simple tips to get you going for mindset change, for success and happiness?
I think you just need to apply them. You just need to go ahead and do the 8 core commitments, and do the daily reading, and just surround yourself around the people that you need to be around, that you want to be like. So that's pretty much what I'm trying to do myself, and it's working. It works great.
That's
Read every
awesome.
day. Yeah, hang around the people that you want to be around with, that's getting the same results that you want to get, and pretty much that's basically what I do, and it's working.
That's awesome. David, you just you mentioned something that is really important. It's very easy to listen to these tips, to talk about them and believe in them, but really you have to take action on them, right? You really have to implement them. If you don't do them, nothing's gonna happen. And
Right.
you said it, you try to do it, but really it's a commitment to do these things. Have you been reading lately? Are there certain books that you have found to be very interesting in the type of work that you're doing?
I just got into what was his name? John T. Farver or something. The Millionaire Mindset. That was recommended from Kiala and Vic as well. So I just started reading that one. So it's pretty interesting.
We have some good. It's true that we have certain team leaders within Empower Network, some individuals who are really bringing in a large amount of money, but like I said before, it's not the amount of money as much as the impact that they are making in our community through their income, as well as through helping people create the changes that they need in their lives as well. And all of them are recommending a lot of books. And I just put up a library here in my office. Here, I'll show you what my library looks like. See? I have right up there, I have the books that were recommended by Vic, like you mentioned. I have up there, well, I have Robin Sharma. Robin Sharma wasn't recommended. He has, this one is The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, which is a classic. And he has a few other, I believe it's The Leader Without a Title or something. I don't know the title exactly, but The Leader Without a Title, I believe it is. Pretty good books from Robin Sharma as well. I have The Secret of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. I have Michael Masterson has Ready, Fire, Aim. Aaron Rashkin from Empower Network says that a lot, that expression, ready, fire, aim. What's that all about? Well, you need to read up on it. You need to know more about what that's all about to be able to implement that in your life as well. So reading helps you understand these concepts. What else? I have Anthony Robbins. I have Start With Why from Simon Sinek. I have Sheryl Sandberg's Lean In. That's more of a women's thing, I think, but also a lot of empowerment messages in there as well. And where did I just put? I put another book down before. I also have in my iPhone, actually, this is for whoever has an iPad, an iPhone, an Android, or a Kindle. It's so easy to download Kindle Kobo or iBook versions of books down in your iPhone or in your on your machine, on your smartphone or on your tablet, and to be able to read that way. And it's so simple. It's so, you can take it anywhere while waiting in a waiting room or just wherever you may be, just reading. And if you're not going to reading is very different than listening. However, I know we have a team member, his name is Mark. He to make it easier for himself, instead of not reading at all, he's been using Audible with audiobooks. And he's been filling his mind up with all kinds of information through audiobooks as well. It's an option, right? Have you ever listened to audiobooks yourself, David?
No, I just read them.
You're a reader?
Phone, yeah.
You read through your phone?
Eventually, I might start the audio. I got that app on my phone, but I just don't know how it works.
Another thing you'll be able to learn. You said that you said that you're reading through your phone. Is that how you download your books?
Yeah, I get the hard copy, and when I'm not at home, I use my phone. I just download them through Amazon Kindle.
That's great. That's exactly what I do. I like having the physical book, but I also like having it on my iPhone. That way I can read it wherever. But you know what? I find that audiobooks, they're different. They are very interesting. They fill you in with information in a very different way. But what I find really good also is that it allows me to give a solution to whoever tells me they don't have time. Believe me, if anybody doesn't have time, I don't have time. But I make time. I make time to read, and I make time also to listen. I don't only listen to audiobooks, I also listen to webinars, to calls, to event recordings, anything that will fill me with information. And you know what I do? I have a commute of half an hour whenever I go to any meetings, because I'm in a suburb. So whenever I go to any kind of meeting in a particular area of town where I usually have to go to, I have about half an hour drive. So what do I do during those 30 minutes? I don't put on music. I don't put on the radio. I put on an audiobook or an audio of some kind with information that will allow me to learn and grow. So that's my way of doing it. You don't have time, make time. Create the time. Find a way to fill yourself up with all kinds of information. You're going to see it's incredible the types of things that you end up learning, and it's incredible the type of information that you can pick up on to create instant change in your life, things that will just spark that idea, that understanding of something that is going to unblock you is just amazing. You just have to give yourself that chance by taking action on what we're talking about here. So books and audiobooks. And I kind of went into the next one. It's listening to audios. videos, webinars, calls. We have within Empower Network a whole library which is called Inner Circle. And we have other products, digital products that are videos and audios of all kinds of things that you can learn for your business and for psychology of business, for yourself, and psychology of working with your clients. So all these videos and audios, all this information, it's there for you to use. Great to make time for them. The simple things, just make time to do these things. David, are there things that you listen to at all? Calls, videos, webinars? Are there things that interest you for the type of information that you fill yourself up with?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of YouTube. And
cool. That's
I research all kind of stuff on YouTube. So Tony Robbins, Empower Network stuff, David Wood on his videos. You know, all our mentors, I look at their videos and get ideas and inspiration from them.
Absolutely, and it's free resources, right? YouTube is free. Why not use it?
Exactly. Free is always good.
So there we go. We just answered another excuse. I don't have the money. Well, you know what? You don't need the money. Just go on YouTube. Just go on YouTube and you have so many resources that you have access to learn. And you know what? It's not, like I said, it's not all about online business marketing. That's what we do at Empower Network, but it's not about that. It's about learning all kinds of things. You know, I had a contract not too long ago where I had to learn how to create an Access file. I had never worked on Microsoft Access before. Never. I kind of knew that it was all about a database, but you know what? I went on YouTube and it took me about 2.5 hours. I'm pretty much an expert at it right now. It's as simple as that. The resource is there. And David, you mentioned Anthony Robbins. Anthony Robbins has a lot of videos. There are a lot of event videos of all kinds of personal development activities, events that are out there. There's the videos, the recordings of the events. There's audio recordings also on YouTube, and you have other venues as well, other platforms where you have access to MP3s. Some you will be able to purchase, but some are available for free on YouTube and other platforms as well. So they're there for you. Just use them. So yeah, David, you just mentioned a free resource that everybody can access. And again, what I do on my iPhone, I don't want to use up too much data, but whenever I can, definitely I will go and listen to these audios because fills me up with all kinds of amazing information. So let's go on to another tip that Keala gave us yesterday. He talked about affirmations. David, have you ever used affirmations?
Believe it or not, no. I never heard of it until yesterday.
Really? Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll start. I gotta do my homework and start thinking of things that I can use to say every day and think about. So
that's really cool. Yeah, you know what? You're gonna learn every day, and I'm so glad that you learned that from the call. It means that the call was an important piece of information that you got access to, and here you got that concept from it among other concepts. So glad that Keala shared that with us yesterday on the call. Keala and I actually Keala and I are relatively close in that we've become friends over the past few years, and so we've had a chance to talk one-on-one a few times. And he did mention affirmations at some point in the past, maybe about 2 years ago. And my first reaction, I knew about affirmations, but I never did them. And when he talked to me about them, my first reaction was, how can I state something when I don't even believe in it? You know, something like an affirmation saying, I am wealthy. well, what if I'm not wealthy? What if I don't feel wealthy? What if, I really don't believe in it? Saying I am wealthy creates this conflict in me, and I don't like saying it. It doesn't feel right. So, you know what his answer was to me back then? He said that's the precise reason why you should be doing these affirmations. The more there's conflict in what you're saying, the more there is something to be worked on. So try to formulate it in a way that you're not feeling completely repulsed by it. However, you can still do an affirmation that will allow you to slowly start believing. And the more you kind of oblige yourself to face this, the more your brain is going to be working on finding solutions to get you there. That's what affirmations are all about. It's stating something that you want to have become a fact. So I am wealthy may not be true right now, but you're going to find ways to believe it. I am wealthy how? Wealthy doesn't necessarily mean I have a lot of money, or it doesn't mean I am a millionaire or a billionaire. I am wealthy can mean a whole bunch of things. So let's think about that and be comfortable with the word or the statement, I am wealthy. And as you're thinking of all these things, you have gratitude for all the things that provide you with wealth. You're wealthy because you have an amazing circle of friends. You are wealthy because you are learning from so many books and you have this opportunity. You are wealthy because you have so much things that you've learned, so many experiences that you've learned over the years, and now you can share them with an audience. All of that is wealth. And so if that allows me to believe in the statement, I am wealthy, then the next logical step will be that I will translate that into also, I have a lot of money, which is part of being wealthy. So just believe in that. I am wealthy. I am very grateful to be wealthy. I am wealthy. I am wealthy. There's no conflict anymore in that statement. And the more I repeat that, the more I can add to it and have more reasons to feel like I am wealthy. So that's one of the affirmations that you can use. And even if you don't believe it, find ways to believe it and make it happen for you. And the I ams, affirmations are all I am. So what are your I ams? What are some of the things that you want for yourself that you may not completely believe in, but you want to bring into your life, that you want to be grateful for? And that's grateful is something else that we're going to talk about. But affirmations, I ams, write them. Kayla said that he wrote them on the mirror on his closet doors. And he read them, he saw them every morning when he got up, and he read them every morning. So do something like that. I put them on my mirror, on my dresser as well. And you're going to need to revamp them every certain period of time, as the old ones are no longer applicable because you will have gotten them. You will have realized your dreams. So you just move on to the next level. You're going to revamp your affirmations and move on to the next level. So I ams. What are your I ams? Create affirmations for yourself. And T. Harv Eker, actually, in Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, talks about declarations, and he uses declarations in his book as well. He says, beyond affirmations, there's also declarations of things that you are going to commit to, that you're going to actually take action for in order to make those affirmations come true. So in your affirmation, I am wealthy, the declaration can be, I declare that I am finding a way to bring in more income. I declare. Actually, one of the main declaration that he has in his book is, "I have a millionaire mind," and the millionaire mind, by saying "I have a millionaire mind," basically he's saying that he's committed to finding all the solutions. Because he has a millionaire mind, now he can find the solutions to actually become the millionaire that he wants to become, or that he's telling us to do in his book. So that's the declaration. Read The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind to find out more about affirmations and declarations, because I'm kind of talking about it really, really quick here. The next thing that Keala talked about, and this is pretty interesting because this is something that I really truly believe in, is gratitude. What you appreciate appreciates. And he was talking about a story where he lent someone uh, money to help out, and when the person called back to say thank you, that was very useful, it really helped a lot, he kind of said like he felt like giving more. So he said, you know what, this is how the universe works. You want to be grateful and appreciate what you have so that the universe will give you more of it. So this is something that I really do believe in. I have a gratitude chat on Twitter every Sunday to have more people come in for gratitude, to uplift our energy along with it, and to have gratitude for the things that we want more in our lives as well. So having talked so much, Daniel, sorry, I called you Daniel. David, is gratitude something that you use in your life?
Um, yeah, I use it pretty much. Just I'm thankful for being here and being with you folks and having my family. So I pretty much use gratitude every day.
So do you basically are you basically thankful and grateful all the time during the day, or do you specifically have a time where in prayer or meditation that you specifically focus on gratitude to let's say, some people start their day with that. As soon as they wake up, they have this little prayer of gratitude to start their day, and they say that it really makes a very big difference in the way the day unfolds. Is that something that you do, or you just like totally have gratitude all day?
Pretty much all day. I'm just, I'm happy and glad that everything is in place for me. So that's pretty much how I feel.
That's
And
great.
yeah,
That's awesome. You know what? I do that too, actually. For gratitude, for me, it's all day, all the time, every occasion that may arise. I will have gratitude. Something will happen. I'll receive a call, or I'll receive a message or an email, or whatever may happen, and immediately my first thought is gratitude. I will find gratitude in all kinds of situations, and especially, sometimes. A lot of people don't understand how I can do this, and I need to explain this further to them to allow them to implement this in their own life because it is so useful. Gratitude for the tough times. A lot of people don't do that. A lot of people think that gratitude is only for the good times so that you can have more of that. But even gratitude for the tough times, because there's always a silver lining. There's always a reason why something is happening. There's always something more. There's always a lesson. There's always a gift. And when you can find that gift, when you can find that positive, that silver lining, and you can find gratitude in that, you will see how the event energy changes completely, how your energy changes, how other people's energy changes, and it just completely switches the energy of what's going on into something a lot more positive, where you can now, instead of working in that negative energy and not knowing what to do, blaming, complaining, justifying, whatever rut you may be stuck in, you can bounce out of that and into gratitude. You will find solutions, you will find opportunities, you will find all the things that you need in order to grow. And this is success. We're talking about success and happiness. David, have you ever used gratitude for unforeseen and unfortunate events?
as far as in the business, yes. When I'm running into problems, I'm thankful for that Facebook page and all you guys that's on it, because you guys really, really help us or help me overcome the problems. So pretty much, yeah, that's what I use that for in my business.
Well, you know what? It's good. You found the positive, even though there are challenges. You found that um, You know, if it weren't for the challenges, you probably would not realize the support that you have in this team. And without those challenges, you would not be able to share this information, where other team members who may have been reluctant in sharing on the Facebook group will now figure out that, yes, they do have amazing support in this team. So whatever challenges they may have, they have a team here to help them out. So there you go. We found so many positive things for that one idea of having Facebook challenges. You know, technical challenges of how to, or whatever challenge. I'm talking Facebook, but whatever challenges you may have in your business or in mindset. You know, it could be any kind of challenge, technical or otherwise. You know, that is something that was difficult for you, but you were able to find, we were able to find a few positive points for that, which created a positive ripple effect. And here we are, you know, smiling about it, which is great.
Yeah, awesome.
Really, really great. And it's true, though, like Kala was saying, what you appreciate appreciates. You know, when someone helps you and you show appreciation, they'll help you more. When you appreciate your audience online, when you say thank you, when you interact with them, well, they'll come back and they'll bring their friends because you appreciated them. The audience, the members of the audience will appreciate. You'll have more of them. You'll have more feedback. You'll have more interactions. That's how it works, you know. And same thing for success, for money, for whatever may be. Whatever you may be in relationships or whatever area of your life, what you appreciate appreciates. So when you show gratitude, you will notice that it will come back to you tenfold, and you will find that happiness and that success as you move forward in gratitude. Hey, we have Mark with us. Welcome, Mark.
And you are so happy because there's only 2 of you in here.
Well, Elizabeth seems to be going in and out because she's having technical difficulties. So I hope that she'll be able to get on at some point, because she's so excited about getting on to be able to talk with us, but she hasn't been able to. But I have to say, also, there she is again. She just popped on again. I hope she'll be able to talk with us. I had one of the best gratitude chats on Twitter earlier. This is something that I just implemented, something that I learned, you know, by interacting with people around me. I learned about doing the hashtag searches, you know, doing chats on Twitter. I didn't know about chats before. My daughter seemed to know about it, but I was kind of delayed where technology is concerned on Twitter. So I found out about it, and I created gratitude chat on Twitter. And you know, I give this, I guess, this service or this value on Twitter, and I've been building an audience where people come in and we have this interaction all about gratitude. And it just serves my point where, you know, the more you appreciate something, the more it appreciates, and you get tenfold back. This energy that you're feeling is a bit because of my gratitude chat. I get so refueled. You know, I may be tired, I may have had a bad day, but when I get on my gratitude chat, when I work in gratitude, and when I share that with my friends on the gratitude chat, mind you, people that I don't know, they're on Twitter. I have no idea who these individuals are, but I love them because I share gratitude with them, and we keep growing the group, and I get this amazing energy. So I highly recommend it. And this, again, as are the other tips that we've mentioned so far, these tips are very, very simple tips. Gratitude is a very, very simple thing a simple piece of advice that you can implement in your life, but you just have to do it. You just have to do it. And it's so easy to drop it. It's so easy to forget it. It's so easy not to pay attention to it. It's so easy to think that, nah, it's not going to do anything, or not doing it one day won't really harm anybody. But you know what? The only person who's not going to be benefiting from that is you. So just do it every single day. Gratitude, not only once a day, but all the time. Just continue having that spirit of gratitude, and you'll see how your energy will change. And that's the energy that you're getting from me now. It's all about gratitude. So, David or Mark, what do you think about this? Is that something that you have implemented in your life? Is gratitude part of your life now?
Well, I have to say that I heretofore have not implemented a regular sort of gratitude exercise. I have always been sort of naturally grateful for everything that I have. Like, you know, I get in the shower in the morning and I'm like, oh man, this is so good to have a hot shower. I'm so glad I have a hot shower, you know. When I lay down and go to bed at night, I'm like, oh, I'm so glad I have a nice soft warm bed. Oh, my pillow, I have this, you know, my little curvy memory foam pillow. I'm like, oh, I'm so fortunate to have this, you know. So I don't specifically do an exercise to, you know, I'm grateful for this, and I'm grateful for this, and I'm grateful for this, but I just sort of naturally have a lot of gratitude for all of the things in my life as I go through my day. You know, I'm grateful for the people in my life. I'm grateful for the things that I have, the food that I eat, the vehicle that I'm driving, my lovely wife who's sitting on the couch right over there, the, you know, orange juice that I have in my cup. I'm so grateful for everything in my life all the time. I just never thought to do that as a separate exercise. And right now I'm looking at my picture and I'm just like, this aura thing I got going on over my head right here is like way cool.
It is way cool.
That's my halo.
Your halo. You know, I totally get what you're saying, Mark. I too pretty much felt like I was generally grateful for everything, although I have to say you have it more than what I used to have in my life. There were certain things that I would take for granted, certain things that I would complain about. What I did, I don't have a ritual. That's not something that I have implemented in my life because I kind of found a different way of doing it that really served me in what I needed to do in my life. I realized that there were things that I was taking for granted, certain things that I was complaining about. So I specifically learned to become an observer in my own life, to realize immediately when I'm doing something, and to right away get into a different energy so that I can counter the negative. And that different energy is automatically gratitude. And it takes practice. I constantly do it. And becoming the observer in your own mind, in your own life, takes a lot of practice. Because at the beginning, you don't notice what you're doing. When you become the observer and you become very aware of every thought, not action necessarily, just a thought, when you become aware of those thoughts, and when you, right after becoming aware of it, can decide whether this is in good energy or not, you can immediately flip the switch on the bad energy, and gratitude helps you do that. So I'll give you an example. Let's say at one point I was receiving, I'm here in Canada, so there are certain things that the government will support us with through our social system. You know, I pay my income taxes, but I get certain amounts back for child support, let's say, because I'm a single mom. So I used to get a certain amount every single month, and I didn't even notice it. And there's no wondering why my budget was out of whack. I didn't have a handle on my finances because I was oblivious to what was going on. I just knew that there was money coming into the bank account. My salary was back then deposited directly in my bank account, so money was just there and I was just spending it. I was completely oblivious to the amounts that were coming in. So I wasn't grateful. I was taking that for granted. And it's when I started getting sick, when I started making decisions to go on my own, to become an entrepreneur, that I started becoming more aware of things that were happening. And that's when also I started becoming more aware of my thoughts, and I realized, hey, I've been taking these things for granted. Now that I have to work for my money, that I have to invoice people for my money, and I wait for the money to come into the bank because there is no direct deposit, I'm checking my bank account every single day to see what's going on. And when that amount comes in from the government, I kid you not, every time it comes in, it's a wow, thank you. Because there are a lot of people out there who don't benefit from that kind of social support from the government, because that amount really helps me to pay for certain things that my children need. For example, where I used to take that for granted, now I take a moment, even if it's a quick, a quarter of a minute, it doesn't have to be long, noticing something that's there, realizing that I have decided not to take that for granted, getting into the energy of gratitude right away, and making a declaration or a statement really clear that I am grateful for that, and it will multiply. And believe me, there are times when new amounts come in that I don't expect, that I haven't seen a letter come in. I'll receive the letter 2 days later stating that, oh, you're going to receive this amount because we made an adjustment or an amendment to your documents, whatever. And all of a sudden I get a gift, because what I'm appreciating is appreciating. So these things happen, and it's for your success and your happiness. It's not always money either. It may be in your relationships. What you appreciate appreciates. Sometimes you'll take people around you for granted. Sometimes people around you, let's talk about that in your relationships. Some people may annoy you like crazy. I was going to use a bad word, but I won't. Some people just annoy you. What can you find good about that? Sometimes I just stop and I just think about it, what's the silver lining in this? There has to be one. And I'm so annoyed right now that I need to flip the switch, get into gratitude, so that I can get myself in a better energy, which I'm going to be happier to be in. So when that person is annoying me, I can be grateful for my patience. I can be grateful for, the times that this person has been very supportive of my work, or that this person is, deep down, this person is a very good person, and I am grateful for that. This person has been helpful to so many people around him or her, and I can be grateful for that. And all of a sudden I feel better. I don't pay attention to what has been annoying me, to that which was negative, and I can completely direct my attention to something more positive, more uplifting. And when I change my energy, then the dynamics in that relationship or in that interaction will change as well, and maybe that person will become a little less annoying as a result. So I don't know if you guys have experienced anything like that, where you notice a situation where you can flip the switch into gratitude, but you're aware of it, you're consciously making that decision to get into gratitude, and you see the benefits. Has that ever happened to you concretely?
Not to myself, but I recently had an experience with a lady at work. I recently got promoted to a trainer position in another department that I've never worked in. And there are some people in that department. It's a department where you have to be licensed to work there, and there were some people in there whose licenses, through no fault of their own, had a clerical error on them, and so part of what they're supposed to be able to do, they can't do. And because of that, they have some fear that they're going to be removed from the department, because the parent company that we serve likes everybody to be able to do everything, and if you can't, they really don't want you there. So this lady lives in constant fear of being removed from this department. And also it's a relatively new department, and it's a call center. We work in a call center, and the call volume is relatively low. Well, part of the representatives in that section are taking calls from their old department. They all came from another department originally. And so some of them, because call volume is low, are taking calls from their old department. And this lady is one of them, and she's one of the people whose license got messed up. So she lives in this mortal fear that she's going to be removed and put back to this other department. And the department we work in, there's a significant raise attached with working in that department. And so she's afraid she's going to lose that. She's going to go back to the other department, and she's going to, lose everything. And she's very abrasive because of this fear that she has, and she's like, it's not fair, it's not fair, it's not this, and she's continuously arguing, it's not my fault, she's living in victim mode the whole time. And she comes to me all the time, and she tells me her story, and she's in tears. And finally, just the other day, we were talking, and I was trying to give her an analogy, and she cut me off in the middle of my story. And I just stopped talking, and I looked at her, and she was like, that's rude, I know, but I know where you're going with that, and blah, 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 blah. And a little bit later in the conversation, she apologized for having cut me off, and she said that was rude. I know it was rude. I said, yeah, it was rude, and it was annoying as heck. I know why you did it. I understand it, and I still love you, but I understand what it was inside of you that made you do that. And I told her the story of Ben Franklin that comes out of How to Win Friends and Influence People. Benjamin Franklin, when he was younger, was a very abrasive person. He was very opinionated. He took great pleasure in proving other people wrong. And whenever he got the opportunity, whether it was somebody he had just met or a friend, a lifelong friend, he would lambaste them if they were wrong, and he took every opportunity to prove himself right. And people didn't like him because of it. And finally, one day, one of his friends sat him down and said, look, nobody likes you. You're abrasive, you're opinionated, you always have to be right, and you're not a nice person, to put it mildly. Well, Benjamin Franklin was a big enough person to be able to take that criticism, look at himself honestly, and begin to change. He admits that it was difficult at first, but he found it a great challenge and fun somewhat to shut his mouth in certain situations, to not have to prove people wrong, because it really is unimportant in most cases, and also to leave wiggle room for other people to save face with phrases like, well, I believe such and such to be true, or I think, or it has been my experience that, rather than stating cold hard facts and, leaving the other person frigidly wrong. So I explained this to this lady because that was some of the attitudes and behaviors that she had been exhibiting. And she recognized herself in that story. And she was also big enough to take that, and she said, that's me. And I said, I'm glad you see that. You need to get this book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, by Dale Carnegie. And she's like, she had never heard of it, which is stunning to me. As old and as classic as that book is, that any human being has not heard of that. It should be required reading for every human being on the planet. How to Win Friends and Influence People. And she's like, well, where do I get it? I said, like, any bookstore, you get it. Any book. I said, it's also an Audible. Get it an audio book and have it playing in your head while you're sleeping. Let it sink into your subconscious. I told her, I said, anything that I have done inside this building, meaning my workplace, that anyone has found praiseworthy, came straight out of that book. Straight out of that book. And she was like, really? And I was like, yes. And so she's like, I'm going to have to try that. I'm going to have to do something. And so we go on about our day. She comes in the next day, totally changed, totally different attitude on this woman. Happy, smiling. I bought the book last night on Audible, and I started listening to it. I tried to get an autobiography of Benjamin Franklin, but I couldn't get it. But I thought about the story that you told, and you're right, and I've got to change my attitude. One of the points that I had made the previous day, I asked her, I said, this attitude, you know, you've got to ask yourself, is it serving you? Is it getting you what you want? You know, a Dr. Phil question, well, how's that working for you? And she had to recognize that it wasn't working for her, and she needed it. And she came in the next day just beautiful and happy and smiling. And she had actually, I heard her go to people that she had offended previously and apologize to them for having offended them and been abrasive to them. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is fantastic that this woman has done this. And she totally did a 180, began to be grateful for being in that department, even though she was taking calls from the other department because she was still getting the higher pay. And just the change, the step into the gratitude and the positivity from the negativity, and the difference it made on her and in her relationships in a day was just absolutely startling, absolutely amazing. And I was so proud of her for doing that. And I can only imagine that in the coming days that there are big things waiting for this woman if she can continue that walk. And I encourage anyone out there who has not walked that way in positivity and light and gratitude, or if you haven't read the book How to Win Friends and Influence People, read it, because it is just the most fabulous book ever, and it will serve you better than just about any book you could possibly read, save whatever scriptures are involved in your religion. Because anything that I have ever done in my life that any other human being has ever complimented me on in a workplace environment was a behavior that I took straight out of that book. And it was a positive and appreciative, a grateful kind of attitude. I mean, the book is, that's basically what the whole thing boils down to, is just being appreciative and grateful of other people in your life, and having relationships based in gratitude, and having a life based in gratitude. And it's just almost magical what happens to you and what happens to your life when you put yourself there, you know. And when I see someone else who's not there, it now, to me, it is so glaring, you know. It's like the difference between this little desk lamp and this red cup. It's like, here's the person in gratitude, ah, and here's the person that's not, you know. It's that clear a difference to me. And you like my sound effects, don't you?
And I like, and the cup, you know, red cup, angry, resentful, you know, you have all these negative emotions attracting, that the person is attracting.
Right. So, but it's so easy to see now that I have learned the difference, and I myself I like to think that I have progressed. I'm not perfect. You know, there are days when I'm grumpy and complaining and, you know, bitchy, but I am quicker to recognize those times, and like you said, you flip that switch and you flip over into gratitude, and you switch this light back on. You know, it's like this. It's like, I don't like that. That person is doing this. That's not fair. And it just, oh, that's not right. I forgive them. I understand why they're doing that. You know what? I'm so grateful that I have this opportunity. You know, it really is that easy to recognize the behavior and go another way. And it really does release a burden off of you and lighten your day and make you happier, and you smile, and just everything goes better. It just really is the way to go. Isn't it, Sunshine?
Yeah,
Trying to get Rosa over here to talk. She's busy watching a movie. So yeah, I was just stunned. I'd never seen such a dramatic change so quickly in a human being before, as I saw in that woman. I saw. Yeah, I have seen it in Rosa. It wasn't quite as quick and dramatic, but I've seen it in Rosa slowly over time. I'm sure you guys have too. The changes that have been wrought in her uh, have been pretty amazing as well. So, yeah, highly recommended that book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And Napoleon Hill also wrote a book called Success Through a Positive Mental Attitude. That one is good. Here, let me get my reading list out of my phone. I'll give you some book recommendations. Audible. What do I have? What's in my phone right now? How to Win Friends and Influence People, Success Through a Positive Mental Attitude, Think and Grow Rich, The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success, The Way of the Peaceful Warrior. What else do we have? That was what I just got. It's Napoleon Hill in his own voice. It's a series of lectures that it's actually Napoleon Hill. He was recorded doing a series of lectures, and it's apparently a series of lectures that became some of the books that he wrote, and it's just so cool to hear him actually speaking some of this stuff that you read from the books, because the way that he speaks and the emphasis that he puts on it and the energy that he puts into it, it brings it home and brings it alive just that much more. So if you haven't read any of those books, I highly recommend them. Anything by Napoleon Hill, anything by Dale Carnegie, get on it. They're a good place to start. How to Win Friends to Influence People. Definitely. If you've never read any personal development book at all, that's the one to start with.
Mark, I just love your story for how you brought back all the things that we talked about during this hangout. You talked about the book. In your story, you talked about how this book has allowed you to bring value to so many relationships that you've had, whether at work or at home, in your life. So reading has helped you and will help so many other people. Again, reading, a very simple tip that you can implement in your life. You have the suggestion of an amazing book by Mark. You have other suggestions of books, and sometimes you may not know what to read. Well, ask around. You know, you'll find information. You know, when I was having issues in my marriage years ago, we're talking 10 years ago, I wasn't into personal development at all. I had no clue what I was doing. I just knew that I needed help. Well, what did I do? I picked up one of Dr. Phil's books. That's all I knew because I watched TV back then. So I just picked up his book. And it just started with that. It was enough to get the ball rolling. If that's what you need to do, go ahead and do that. Books will help you, reading will just help you gather the information and the messages you need to start the ball rolling. But here you have suggestions of amazing book classics that will allow you to really get going on the type of changes that you need to implement in your life, which may take more time, which will require more practice, will require possibly a lot more energy and effort. However, implementing reading in your life won't be so difficult. We're talking about easy tips, and Mark just talked to you about his story about how much reading that particular book has helped him provide value in his life and has helped this woman. This woman's life changed through the fact that Mark had read this book. And what did she do? She went out and listened to the Audible audiobook. We talked about listening to videos, webinars, calls, audios. There are so many things that you can listen to. You can read, but you can also listen. Books, other calls, webinars, any kind of event recording. These are also packed with information. And this is what this woman did. She went and got on her phone. You know, it's so easy now on your iPad, on your phone, on your computer. Just download the book. Buy the book. You can buy it on Kindle, Kobo, PDF. You can listen to it on Audible or other platforms that have access to the audiobooks. Just get them. Listen to them, and they will change your life, that like they did for this woman. Her life has been changed thanks to the information that she got from this book. And we're talking about gratitude. You know, the books are talking about gratitude, we're talking about gratitude, and how lives are changing through gratitude. My life has changed. I know Mark to be a very happy person in general. There will be challenges in life, but you always bounce back with this amazing energy, and I understand why. It's because you have gratitude all the time. It's just part of your energy. It just is. That's the way it is. So I hear a lot of people, you know, on Facebook, on social media, we see so many people complain about this and that. You know, they talk politics, they talk economy, they talk sports, they talk about all kinds of things, always with this negative energy that they drag along with them everywhere. If only they can, like I said before, flip the switch into a different energy, they would feel so much better. And you know, sometimes I just mention a little something on social media. I don't like being the nag, and I know that some people will be more or less open to this kind of thing. What generally happens is that people will say, oh, positive thinking is just hocus pocus, you know, it doesn't really change anything. It's not positive thinking. This is not positive thinking. And you're not just going to find positive thinking in the worst situations and pretend that everything is good. That's not the way it works. Gratitude is not pretending that everything is good. Gratitude is actually finding the positive in something. It's not that you're just pretending that a negative event is all of a sudden different. It's finding the gift, finding the lesson, finding the silver lining in that negative event so that you can pick out from it that one element that is positive that you can hang on to, that you can appreciate and let appreciate. That's what gratitude is all about. And that's how that energy, it gives you hope, it gives you this, it refuels you with this, whatever it is, it's this energy that allows you to take out from something negative, take out from challenges, take out from things that may be draining you, the little something, the little speck of hope, that energy that you can build on. That's what it is. And when you find that speck of energy that you can build on, all of a sudden you feel it. There's something that grows within you. There's something that allows you to give more and to receive more. That's what gratitude is all about. And you have to understand that. It's not hocus pocus, but it is magical. Like Mark said, it is truly magical in the way this works. So gratitude, that I live by it. I swear by it. I talk about it all the time. Gratitude is really the way to go. And I'm not the only one, obviously, because there are so many books written about it from hundreds of years ago. So definitely gratitude is a biggie. Again, very, very simple tip to implement in your life. It does take practice, but it's very easy to practice it. Just do it. Implement it in your life and see how it will change your life for more success and happiness. We're already past 10 o'clock. It goes so fast. And when we have these amazing discussions, Mark, thank you for hopping on. I know that you were busy tonight, but you're so committed to our team. It's absolutely wonderful to have you here.
Thank you. Thank
Hey,
you very
Carmen.
much for allowing me to be here. One last quick comment. There really truly is only one thing that we have control of in this life, and that is our own mind. That is the only thing we have control of. We don't have control over what happens to us. We only have control over how we react to it. So there, food for thought. I'll leave it at that.
Absolutely. Hey, I just heard Elizabeth. Can you hear us well, Elizabeth?
Yeah, it's just I can't do the video, and that's all, but I have been listening. And I just want to say I had posted this on Facebook before, that gratitude is like when you're having a bad day, it's not a bad day. You're actually having a character building day. And then back to what your self-value system. Back to the call that we had the other day. Maybe that all that you have had in your life is all that you have wanted. So that was just another thing that I just wanted to put in there. So, but I've been listening. I just can't go on. That's all.
That's great. Actually, Elizabeth, what you're talking about.
There we go. That was all.
That's great. What Elizabeth was talking about yesterday on the call, we were talking about the values, and the value system we learned from everything that Dr. John DeMartini teaches, and Kayla talks a lot about Dr. DeMartini. And again, another expert that you can read up on, you can read his books, you can listen to his event recordings. Absolutely an amazing guy to learn from, an expert that has so much value to offer. And things that we learn to create breakthroughs in our lives, to understand things about the way we react to things, the way Mark just mentioned. We have control over the way we act and react to things. So when we understand why we do certain things and we can create change in our life for the better, we're creating success and we're creating happiness. And this is what it's all about. So it all really starts with the basics. And we talked about a few very easy tips that you can implement right now. Read, listen to audios, use affirmations, and gratitude in your life. That's 4 tips right there that we talked about in the last hour. And one of the things that you should also be doing is surrounding yourself with an amazing support group, a circle of friends who will continuously uplift you like we've done here on this Hangout. This is the energy that we create. David before talked about the Facebook group where he gets support for whatever challenges he may encounter in his business. So you want to surround yourself with the right type of people who will support you on your learning and growing path. And that group, my friend, is right here. And you need to press on the button below, get in. It's $25 a month to become a member, but you have so much more than just a group. You have so much support, so much inspiration, so much motivation, and so much information and resources to help you build the type of life that you want to build for yourself. So go ahead, click on the button below, join this team, and you will be learning and growing at an incredibly fast pace. Totally magical. Click on the button below. Yes, Mark, you have something to say.
I do. I want to put into practice what we're talking about. Number 1, I wish to publicly express gratitude to Carmen Juan Kenobi, who is oh so wise and helpful and has helped me have many, many breakthroughs in my time in knowing her. She's fabulous. Any advice she ever gives you, you need. Because just before this hangout, she was on Facebook and she paid me a compliment for.
Mark, are we losing you just as you're about to say something important? Are we losing Mark?
He wanted to say you're fabulous anyway, Carmen. Which you are.
But I did, he was very busy this afternoon, and I said, well, we want you to get on. Yeah, it looks like we just lost him. I see him on the live show. And I said, you have so much value to offer at every single one of our Hangouts. You have so much value to offer. We want you on. And he always sheds a tear at every Hangout. And I think he was about to shed a tear right now because he's touched by this interaction. I think we've become family. Mm-hmm. Here in this team, we're not only friends, we're not only colleagues and team members and peers, we have become family, brothers and sisters, where we share so much of this experience. We're learning together, we're growing together, we're going through the challenges together. And you know, we're learning a lot from these. We're learning a lot from building ourselves. Like you said, Elizabeth, before, the tough days are really about building character, building strength. And a lot of us, you know, every one of us has challenges. So we go through these challenges, but we're building this family at the same time, this support group where we're building character, we're learning from the experiences, we're learning, we're growing, and it's just amazing, absolutely amazing to be able to have this family to be with through this transition, you know, through this growth. So I'm so sad that that we lost Mark like this. I don't know if we're going to get him back. But truly, I have to say, I truly in gratitude as well. I want to thank Mark also for being who he is, for sharing his stories. He has a lot of wisdom to share with us. Sometimes I feel like he may not know how much value he has to offer, and discussions with him on air are always incredibly enlightening. He has a wealth of information to share, and a lot of very interesting stories that allow us to be able to understand certain concepts, certain things that we may be doing that we need to hear about in a different way. And he has these stories that really hit home, that really allow us to understand. And also for allowing me to interact with him. There were some instances where we had discussions where he came back to me, and that's why he calls me Carmen One Kenobi. He allowed me to give him a piece of my wisdom, and he was in full gratitude for that. And you know, it grew my appreciation of him. I want to give more, not only to him but to other people as well, thanks to the appreciation that he showed me. So there you go. There's another story, another experience that shows you how magical it is to interact in this way, in gratitude, in the type of support team that we are working in, and doing the things that we are doing, using these very tips in order to move forward in success and happiness. So I guess we're not going to get him back. It does really sadden me. However, I will make sure that we have him back at the next Hangout. Maybe he'll host, maybe I'll host, maybe someone else will host. But we'll continue with these very interesting discussions for you. In the meantime, don't be shy. Click on the button below, because there's a whole new world waiting for you. A world of blogging, a world of sharing, and a world of incredible support that is waiting with open arms to welcome you into a new journey of learning and growing. So that's it for today, my friends. Thank you for joining us on the Team Project Freedom Hangout, and we'll see you next week on Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. Bye for now. Thank you very much, David and Elizabeth, for joining us. Thank you, Mark, as well. And we'll see you next Sunday. Bye-bye.